Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to create weight converter application in which we are going to convert weight from kilogram to pound, and in second part we will convert weight from pound to kilogram. This project involves minimal CSS and HTML, so let's get started. First, we will create a project folder of name weight converter. Let's add an HTML file to this folder with boilerplate code. Let's add a container div. We will use h1 tag to tell user about the application. Let's add appropriate labels inside a paragraph tag. We will put a label and an input field to take input from user. Also, let's attach a JavaScript function to onChange and onInput event of input control. Below this, let's add a span inside paragraph to show user the converted value in pound. Let's open our HTML in browser to inspect if the HTML renders properly or not. As we can see, our heading, input tab, and the output area renders perfectly. So let's move to our HTML and add a reference to JavaScript file at the bottom, and we have already added a CSS reference in the top. Let's create a JavaScript file called index.js, and let's create a function named weight converter with one parameter in this. In this function, we will multiply value by 2.2046 to convert kilogram to pound. Let's use toFixed method to convert the number to two precision decimal number. Finally, we will assign the value to output pounds span using document.getElementById. Let's save this file and check our application in the browser. Let's check the logic of JavaScript whether it is working or not. As you can see, as I change the input, the output is also changing in pound. So let's add 1 kilogram and we can see it is equal to 2.2 pounds. What happens if I'm going to add 20? In pound, it's 44.09. Let's add 9 kilogram. It turns out to be nearly 20 pounds. So our JavaScript is working fine and our function is converting kilogram to pound perfectly. Let's go ahead and create some CSS style so that our application looks more beautiful. Let's add a CSS file called style.css. Let's add style to the container. We will set width, height, background color, margin and padding to make the page look nicer. Let's save the style and again we will check the application that how it looks. So now our application looks beautiful. As we can see, the CSS has been applied to it and it looks decent. Let's go ahead and change and see if it is still working or not. So this was pretty simple application, but we are not done yet. We will now reuse most of the code to create another page on which we will convert the weight from pound to kilogram. Let's create a copy of our existing HTML file. We will update the reference of pound with kilogram and vice versa in the entire HTML page. Let's update the function on input control to pound to kg. Let's head over to our JavaScript file and create another function called pound to kg with one parameter. In this file, we will copy the above function code, but instead of multiplying, we will divide the input to convert the value to kilogram. Let's head over to our HTML and let's add a CSS class to container so we can distinguish both the applications. Let's add the style to the styles sheet. Let's head over to our application to see if our second page is working or not. As you can see, now we are converting from pound to kilogram. So let's go ahead and put 20 pounds. And our application is not working. So there was a typo. Let's fix that. Now let's try again. We can see now the application is working fine. Now both our applications are working. I hope you guys liked this fun project. If you did like the video, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content.